CEO of Amesto NextBridge, is a serial entrepreneur, angel investor, and board member of AI startups. Stephen Mead, CEO and founder of MonetaPro, has created, incubated, and built 9 successful technology-based companies. Faris Al-Sadek is an entrepreneur and angel investor who has entered many ventures throughout his career across multiple industries, including hospitality, real estate, blockchain, and tech. Alexander Vavilov, investment director at iTech Capital, which has been investing in successful businesses, building new internet technology continually since 2010. Oliver von Wolf, managing director at CO Labs and Crypto Oasis, an early-stage venture capital investor and blockchain ecosystem builder headquartered in Dubai and with a global focus. Daniele Calzolari from Ikigai Ventures is a seasoned and passionate VC investor, startups mentor, and business school professor. So, the judges are...
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the AIBC Startup Pitch 2022. This is actually one of my favorite events that we have during the conference because this is where we have 10 projects that come to the stage. They pitch their business model to our very impressive panel of judges, and this is where everything can change from a business concept. So I'm going to set the scene on what we can expect today. Hundreds of applicants have applied for this contest today. We've handpicked 10 stellar startups. They have 3 minutes to pitch their business model and 3 minutes for Q&As from you guys. And you have one rule from me today, that is you can't hold back on your questions. You have to come at them and you have to come at them fierce, okay? You're ready, amazing. And then what's in it for the startups? So the startups sponsored by Ikigai Ventures will actually receive up to $500,000 in a check today. So it's a really exciting opportunity for them to change everything. It's sponsored by Boba Network. I'm really excited to get going. Guys, are you ready? We're gonna get a round of applause for our startups because it's not an easy gig they've got to do. Okay, guys, so I think it's time that we get started with our first startup of the day. So we're going to be keeping time on the stage. As I've mentioned, it is a strict 3-minute pitch and then 3 minutes for Q&A. So I'm going to welcome our first startup to the stage. We have Arize Group VV.
One, two. All right. When are we going to time it? Good day, everybody. So my name is Aryan. I'm the CEO of Arize. Happy to be here, first of all. Thanks, Jessica. So we have been in the market over the past 4 years, since 2018 up to now. So the way we operate is that we have been servicing e-commerce clients, or basically any sort of product that needs visualization, by bringing them into 3D and augmented reality. This is a bit of a background of us. We have been doing 3D virtual experiences for a long time. What we have been noticing for a vast period of time is that actually all the companies that want to bring the product into 3D, augmented reality, or virtual reality, they have 2 main issues. First, they don't know where to start. Second, they think that they have to spend a ton amount of money in order to make it happen. That's where we actually, in the beginning of this year, with the whole ideas of metaverse, which is the same with virtual experiences that we have had before, we came up with the idea to create a community of 3D artists that can service the clients. The clients can use them in order to produce the 3D models in the quality that they need, and also use our technology at the end to distribute it, whether on their website or anything like that. Important point to mention, the 3D and AR technology that we have actually doesn't require any app or any extra plugin to be downloaded. It's 100% web-based. That's where actually we as an ecosystem come into play with already existing clients for some time, and having a community of creators that we have been working with for over 300 creators for 3D artists, and we are using our token with its utilities to fuel this ecosystem. The most important thing that we are trying to make it happen is that actually to have a very fair amount of connections to creators to expertise for augmented reality without actually worrying about the technology. We handle it, the creators can create high quality content and the businesses can use it. Taking that into account, we are going to have actually a royalty system connected to the 3D assets. So everything that is being uploaded to Arize actually has augmented reality on it. So they can make money similar to pay-per-view on YouTube, but for NFTs and 3D augmented realities. Where are we right now at the moment is that we have been fundraising for a while. Our IDO is going to happen actually by the end of this month. And we already have clients, existing businesses from fashion, e-commerce, sports, that we are actually making this transition for them to come to Arize and come to the metaverse per se, as they were supposed to say. The most important thing that we would like to mention is that as you put people first, the technology fades into the background. And the only limit that is going to be there is people's imagination. Thank you.
Very nice. And with 7 seconds to spare, which is impressive. So I'm going to turn over to our judges now. There's 3 minutes of question time. We're going to start at 3 minutes on the clock. Our judges will have their microphones ready. We know who's going to start. I feel like our startup gets extra points for going to hand out business cards during the pitch. We'll wait for him to come back to his microphone, otherwise he'll be a little bit out of sync. Okay, you ready for the Q&A? 3 minutes is on the clock. We're going to start with Stephen.
Well, I'm actually not going to go with a question. I'm going to go more with a comment. When you're in a startup contest, if you have customers, you should always lead with the fact that you have customers. You sort of save that till the end, and then you never told us what you're asking for. You never said how much money or what you're looking for, so you're up here in a startup contest not leading with the customer and not telling anybody what you're looking for. So I don't know, I have a lot of questions other than I don't know what you're looking for.
Should I go ahead and answer? Thank you very much for the feedback. Of course, we are very limited on time, so we wanted to bring up the context of generally what we do. There is definitely a business model connected to it. We are raising right now $1.5 million in order to have our IDO. But we're always looking to actually make a strategic partnership to bring us to the next level in terms of connection to different businesses and different sectors that can use us.
Hello. Check. Okay. Thank you for the presentation. Could you elaborate a little bit more about your business model, which is somehow unclear for me, and whether it's a subscription model, for instance? Yeah, can smell it. Wait. And also whether you could elaborate also on the profile of the kinds of customers you have. Maybe you have several segments and can explain.
Thank you very much for the question, first of all. So we keep the business model pretty simple. We have platform transaction fees. So if the businesses actually hire the creators, we take a very small percentage off of that. And for the businesses to use the tech to integrate 3D and augmented reality into their website and their platform, there's a subscription model. In terms of the profile of the customers that we have, anything that actually needs and being enhanced by a visual representation. In terms of e-commerce, for example, you have fashion, we have luxury goods, we have luxury air ventilators. We have luxury air ventilators. The most important thing, especially in e-commerce for them, is to decrease the return rate. And everything that we have is web-based, is frictionless. People can actually see the size. With the customers that we currently have, they decrease their return rate up to 50 and increase their conversion for 30%. So that's a very big pain point, especially for the returns. All the way to the fashion and presentations of the product, it's more about having this visual representation that communicates a much better idea of the product.
I'd like to ask a question, please. How is your community like? Do you have any followers? Can you please run through that?
Very good question. So on Telegram, we have up to 15,000 people in our community as token investors. In Twitter, we have 29,000, if I'm 22,000 or 29,000, 25,000. And we have 300 creators, 3D creators in our backend.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Nice job as well. And also a helpful shout out as well for a company employee at the front. Okay, nice job. And nice judge from the judges as well, asking the quick, concise questions. We're going to go over to our next startup now, just to give you a run through. Our judges are going to be ranking on 3 different pillars when it comes to execution of pitch, business model, and what they're looking for. So they'll be making notes throughout. We're going to welcome our next startup to the stage, which is Crows. A confident walk. Okay, we're going to start the clock, and the 3 minutes is yours.
Okay. Greetings, everyone. I'm Hussein, co-founder of Cross. We at Cross have embarked on a journey to build the advertising infrastructure for the metaverse. I was just reading this morning about Goldman Sachs and how they expect the metaverse market to witness a meteoric growth and reach $8 trillion. And how Morgan Stanley argues and believe that China metaverse market will be alone $8 trillion. So while some of us might differ on how gigantic the metaverse market will become, everyone agrees that advertising and commerce are the main drivers fueling this growth. Yet until this moment, metaverses have no infrastructure or standards for advertising and cross-organizational collaboration, making it a non-existent and inefficient process, leading to a compromised data exchange, flawed compliance processes riddled with conflict of interest, lack of traceability and shared truth, and the list goes on. Well, this is about to change with Cross. Cross is a cross-org collaboration platform using blockchain smart contracts, empowering metaverses to execute business value chains with all their partners in full traceability and in a trustless, tamper-proof manner. Similarly to what Google and Facebook have done for the Web 2.0, Cross is building the advertising infrastructure for the metaverse. Cross ad bidding platform will connect metaverses with advertisers in an intuitive and automated process with advanced DeFi and data verification capabilities to create an interconnected blockchain economy. Cross will standardize the advertising and commerce across metaverses, enabling communities to earn from advertising and unlocking new heights for the play-to-earn industry. Cross team is leadership from Google, Microsoft, and other top organizations with a view of building the metaverse better, faster, and safer. Cross stellar team is led by 3 lucky co-founders. Ajay, scholarly engineer, former chief architect at Google and Microsoft. Shusha, former PwC in Deloitte.
Because he fought for that microphone. Okay, we now have 3 minutes of Q&A now. I saw some of our judges taking some notes, so I'll leave it to which judge wants to start with a question. Who wants to lead? Yeah, go free.
Yes, hey, thank you very much for the presentation. I also would like to know a bit more about the financial numbers, about the traction, and also about the market opportunities.
Definitely, definitely. I was getting there, but thank you so much for allowing me to continue. So we're raising $7 million. We're backed by great investors' name. We're partners with all of the great metaverses, Decentraland, Sandbox, you name it. We're partnering with all of the Ogilvies and the big such and advertising agencies of the world. I have mentioned earlier the market size. It's gigantic. trillions and trillions. People are arguing, right? But also we have 200,000 active followers across our social media. Telegram, Discord, Twitter. I hope I answered.
I would like, hi, how are you? Hope all is well. Good presentation.
Thank you so much.
I like your determination to finish what you wanted to do. My question is, what marketing you or your team, what marketing background do you guys have?
So, as I believe, when it comes to myself, I was, which I didn't continue, I'm one of the co-founders, and I have 20 plus years of expertise. I was a former founder, CEO at Rocket Internet, which is the largest internet venture builder in the world. And digital market comes at core when you're acquiring customers. So I was not on the digital agency side, but I was on the builder side. So.
Hi. So I'd like to know, why do you think your platform will become the dominant one as opposed to others? So what kind of defensible moat do you have in your business model?
So we also said this all the time at Rocket Internet, right? It's not about the idea, it's about the team and execution. And we believe we have a stellar team from top companies, and we have the first mover advantage. And lucky enough, so far, we have gathered the attention and the coalition of great names in the space. So I think we have the formula. And last but not least, again, it's $1 trillion, so everybody's welcome.
Well, I sound like the curmudgeon. Mine are always criticisms, and because I've done a bunch of these. Alex Lightman sitting there. Alex knows I've done a bunch of these. So these are more inputs. Number one, I don't find that as determination when you keep going. It's unprepared. You know you have 3 minutes. So to not hit your mark on 3 minutes means you aren't prepared. So, and then your entire write-up says nothing about what you're doing. So everything you just said on stage, there's not a single word in your write-up. It didn't even say metaverse in here. So I'm thinking, what company are you talking about based on what you wrote? And you spent 2 minutes convincing a very educated audience that the metaverse is a big market and 1 minute on your product.
Yeah, I think, first of all, the write-up I sent is having everything of what I said right now.
That is time. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Stephen's taken no prisoners today. Okay, so now it is startup pitch and number 3. Let's see what they bring to the stage. Guys, can we have a round of applause for Adverse? Okay, so this will be a microphone, and we'll have 3 minutes on the clock.
Hello. Yeah, hello everyone. I am Alok Patni. I am CFO at Adverse. So we are an education metaverse platform. We are based in India, and we have more than 150 employees who are working in the education sector. We have been working on education platform since last 7 years and has been associated with global publishers like Macmillan and Pearson. So we have the largest asset repository of 3D models with us, more than 30,000 assets with us, and we have been using those now to build a metaverse around the same. So in our metaverse, there are 4 stakeholders: learners, promoters, educators, and the creators. For learners, we have learn to earn philosophy. Promoters would be the ones who would be buying land on the platform and building an education institutions on the same. Educators would be actually providing their offerings to the learners, and they can be employed by the promoters also. And the creators would be the guys who would be actually making the 3D models for the platform, and they will be making customized NFTs, which can be used by the educators for buying, selling, and designing the entire course content around it. Why Adverse? So one of the, I guess the video started, so. the typical 3D models and NFTs for the platform.
So we had the buzzer, that was the time. Learn to earn, actually, sounds like an interesting concept. I'm sure we'll have some questions there from some of our judges. Who wants to go first? Steven's picked up the mic.
Mine are easy. Great job on the presentation. I'll give compliments when they're due. Three things that I think we're missing that I was looking for is what's the size of the ed tech market you're going after? Not the total metaverse market, but segment down to size of the market. I was looking for revenue model and what you're asking for, and those are things that I think you could have squeezed in pretty easily. Otherwise, good job.
Yeah, so the entire metaverse market is around 7 billion, and we think education market can be easily 10% of the entire market.
What are the competitive advantages here?
From competitive perspective, we already have the largest asset repository with us. We have more than 30,000 3D models with us. We have more than 1,000 virtual journeys, which is as of now available with the platform. So we just need to build on those 3D assets, ARs and VR journeys, and make the entire platform around it. And one more thing, we are in fact making the metaverses for some of the largest gaming platforms. So we are assisting them in making it. So we just need to integrate our education content with our metaverse skills and develop this.
As I understand, you said you have a learn to earn business model. Maybe you could explain how that works, or why I should be paid for learning something on the platform?
Yeah, so on the platform, most of the content which will be provided to us would be free. So a learner is incentivized to come on the platform and use our content, and then based on their interaction with the platform, we will be awarding them with our tokens. So it will incentivize the learners. At the same time, the community will be built around it.
What's the main utility of the token, and how will you keep its value strong?
Yeah, so for our platform, the entire interactions, there are 4 main stakeholders: learners, educators, creators, and promoters. So all the interactions, maybe a promoter is building an education institution on the land which we have provided. So he may employ the educator, he may give the education courses to the learners. So these transactions would be taken care of with the tokens. So learner can come, pay for the course content in the form of tokens. Educators can design their courses around the NFTs and use it for giving it to the learners and to the institutions.
Great job, thank you very much. It seemed like there was no more questions from the judges then. Probably having some thoughts. Round of applause. Okay, so number 4 startup, we have Metaduce. I'm going to welcome them to the stage. Round of applause. You ready? We're looking forward to it. You've got 3 minutes on the clock.
Amazon announced a subscription marketplace in 2017, which aimed to be like an app store in subscription space. Now it's 2022, and its functionality is still very, very limited. It's an example of how complex it is to build recurring payments, to provide recurring payments for different third parties in traditional financial system. The problems are that clients need to share sensible information, providers need to match different security compliances, procedures, currencies, fees varies from one bank to another, from one country to another. Payment failure leads to subscription cancellation. The main problems of recurring payments are legal restrictions and bank regulation. Blockchain can solve them. To challenge this, we created decentralized recurring payment protocol. It is trustless and secure, fully based on smart contracts, support different recurring payment models, is infinitely scalable with low fees, based on Everscale, which was the winner of the previous year AIBC Award of Innovations, support flexible integration, and yes, we built a subscription marketplace where any business can register and appear in the catalog to get potential user. This is our team. We have been building scalable, high-load, secure application for 7 years. We came from DevOps field. Last 2 years we spent researching different blockchain and participating in different blockchain activities. Core Everscale teams like Everscale Community, Broxus, DeFi Alliance, PyUnion support us. Our market is also businesses utilizing subscription business model and those who are limited to do that because of such problems. Protocol fees are applied during each recurring payment in a currency which was set by service provider, then swapped to our Metaduce token and shared proportionally between all stakeholders. In such a way, token growth is guaranteed. Right now, we have an MVP ready. Our next stages will be smart contracts audit and fiat integration. The main goal is the business development. In 2022, we aim to have 100 services registered and grow 50 times in next year. The main instrument will be partnerships for most valuable service provider who can attract partners into a problem. Metaduce will give a lock stake to compensate fees and even get extra rewards. But the biggest value Metaduce gives is the problem it solves. Our goal now is to get financial support and some advising in different areas. Thank you.
Nice job. Okay, so I can see some of our judges might have some questions. Take it away.
So you're saying that you're going to have 1 million users in 2023?
Yes.
How is that going to happen?
Sorry?
How is that going to happen?
It is a point where we need help, but there is a very big need of recurring payments for small businesses, for businesses who use donations, for those who cannot spend time and don't have a chance to cooperate with governance and some bureaucracy. This was a very big area. To make this a main point is to have a partnership program to give rewards for providers in the future.
Do you need regulators' support, and how will you convince them, if so?
No, we don't need regulator support because the main idea of the platform is full decentralization. I am not the owner of the protocol. I am just a core developer, as the same our team. It's fully decentralized solution based on smart contract, trustless. No banks, no regulations.
So you showed up big numbers in the traction, but is this a niche product, and who could be your potential customers?
Sorry, repeat please.
You showed the market size, yes?
Yes.
We all understand the market size, but you want to offer a niche product to specific providers to sell it?
No.
To offer this, or how you want to do the sales?
No, to specific providers, to any providers for offline and even for online and even offline businesses for each businesses. It's our main goal to think about marketing right now. It's our main point, main direction we should go soon. Right now we don't have exact meaning about that.
So in general, within the DeFi kind of ecosystem, most of the transactions are done on a push basis. And here, as I understand, you're going to be pulling
payments.
Pulling,
correct.
So how do you deal with potentially fraudulent use cases of the subscriptions?
Yeah, we have a special, first of all, notification and special system which will avoid voluntary churn. So we will handle all of that. And the main point is that solution is non-custodial and all the assets is just yours. So
This one will be pretty simple in the time left. Why did you pick Everscale as the platform? The Freeton guys just rebranded to Everscale.
It's the only platform that are possible to build such scalable solution to support like millions of subscribers. Because one of our goals is to integrate with such companies like Patreon, for example, to get users from there. Because the subscription content model is the most suitable for the protocol. Thank you so much.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, and compared to last year, actually, I have to say we're seeing a lot more metaverse and NFT-related startups. Very interesting to see how the industry is heading. So we're going to welcome startup number 5. We've got Metagame Hub DAO coming to the stage. Round of applause.
Hey guys, pleasure to be here. My name is Nicholas. I'm the founder of Metagame Hub DAO. When I first joined the crypto space, what really attracted me was creating equal opportunities through fostering decentralization, right? And to me, this will only be achievable when we actually have an ecosystem that's intuitively usable. If you look at the applications that are now out there in DeFi and other ecosystems, it's something you have to understand first before you can really use it. And that's something that we at MGH DAO want to solve, right? Not by building yet another metaverse, so to say, but actually by focusing on aggregation and providing the home base for users within the open metaverse. And that's something, that when we look at the current strategy and the ecosystem within the metaverse, there's a lot of sub-ecosystems and niches, but there's not a home base for users. And, for us, that's of course a quite ambitious goal, which is why we defined 2 short to medium-term pillars that we are focusing on in regards to addressing the current needs within the metaverse. The first pillar is actually fostering agnostic metaverse development for our community and brands, right? By building agnostically in different ecosystems, because that's currently one of the core needs, right? That is omnipresent within the metaverse. So everyone is either wanting to build there, develop, and no one really has like a holistic one-stop shop for building across different metaverses, because each metaverse will address different niches. And that's what we provide with our development team. On the other hand, what we also focus on is the pillar of investing by having developed an algorithm that allows you to fairly evaluate metaverse and assets, right? Hence NFTs, with the core focus right now on being on lands. So our land valuation tool is already live. You can check it out. We have around 30,000 requests per month from primarily sandbox and decentralized communities, but also expanding, of course, to other ecosystems. And here, really, the goal is to focus on the one hand from the B2C side on kind of having like a search engine style, right? That people can intuitively utilize within the metaverse and, acquire assets, have fair pricing valuations, as well as then also, have kind of the cherry picking approach in regards to what is my individual metaverse experience. The other pillar that we are focusing on is, of course, the B2B side, where such a valuation algorithm is not only be able to use for evaluating metaverse assets, but actually trading with them, because we can scope undervalued NFTs on the secondary markets and actually sell them for a profit, of course. And hence, it's also interesting for asset managers. Secondly, basically, we are conducting integrations into NFT marketplaces, which we've already done with Parcel, and are currently also building an integration or widget into the Sandbox marketplace, as well as it's relevant for DeFi protocols because there's no standardization in regards to integrating NFTs into DeFi, right? And yeah, we started, with a fair launch, and now we're at a stage where we're looking for product synergies, liquidity and funding provision, as well as the third part is, of course, network and educational synergies that we can actually have long-term builders that we can grow with together. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Camilo, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for the presentation. Could you elaborate a little bit more about your strategy to acquire your B2B and B2C customer respectively?
Yeah, from the B2C side, it's really all about, bringing back ownership for users in the metaverse, because everyone is always preaching, okay, decentralization and the open metaverse. But if we really look, behind the pillars, the metaverse is fairly centralized still, right? Especially also the Web3 metaverse. And hence, here our strategy is really to onboard the users by bringing them access and utility for valuable metaverse assets that we have as a DAO in our treasury, right? And that's how we approach the B2C side, as well as conducting these integrations into let's say, popular NFT marketplaces like Parcel, like the Sandbox Marketplace, like PCPO and others. When it comes to the B2B side, it's all about leveraging our network that we've already established, collaborations with bigger players in the industry, like Ocean Protocol, where we've received the grant, like Decentraland, where we received the grant, and also other ecosystems in the space, right? So here it's about the network side, and also the value that we can provide to these players. Yeah, that's kind of the two pillars there.
What are you going to do with the money raised?
Yeah, so there's two aspects, right? One aspect is, of course, the secondary market strategy. So we want to heavily put at least 50% of the funds in regards to liquidity provision, market making, and exchange listings, right? So far we focus on building, but now it's about, let's say, we're at an inception point to accelerate, right? So that's one part. And the second part is about covering the operational costs as well as acquiring further assets in the metaverse, because we do expect to be profitable in the next 3 to 4 months, right? So it's not necessarily so much about, per se, the respective, let's say, covering the operational side, but it's more about also accelerating, expanding, as we're also launching internship programs with universities in Germany as well as in Colombia. And it's really kind of these two pillars, right? The expansion part as well as the secondary market strategy.
Can you, so for something like this, community build-up is very important. Can you tell me a bit about your community?
Yeah, so on the one hand, we have a very strong core team of around 30 plus contributors, right? Which are, from different walks of life, are spread all across the globe, and we have different, let's say, locations, like an office in Colombia, a hustle house, as we say, in Portugal. So that's a very strong core community that we have, and then we also have different communities, in other ecosystems like South Korea, Japan. We're also building currently heavily in Argentina and Colombia, right? So I would say broadly we have a community right now of around, let's say, 150 very core people, and then around, let's say, 6,000-7,000, let's say, broader community members. Yeah.
I guess quickly, how can you guarantee that your pricing algorithm will be accurate?
You can never, of course, honestly agree, but what we're actually building is a decentralized Oracle network. That's the long-term goal, which we're currently designing with Manan Patel from Ocean, where we will not only be the only price data provider, but there will be several, and here the MGH token will actually have the utility. Yeah.
You hit him with a very hard question then, right at the end. Guys, well done. Very nice job. Okay, so we're going to welcome startup number 6. We have NSA Tech coming to the stage now to give their business model and pitch in a very short 3 minutes. Let's go. Okay, speed as well. Thank you. This is the
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Hossein from NSA Tech. NSA Tech is the newest sport assistive technology, can be used for tracking movement and performance analysis tools. And this technology made by artificial intelligence technology, we collected many open source data from the top level player. We made Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi with artificial intelligence, and we can provide the data for coaches, clubs, and academy to track the performance. NSA Tech is selected as a top technology in Qatar Sport Tech 2021, and this is our journey. We passed 2 years ago, and we selected as a top technology in Microsoft 2021 to 2022, and at this time, I'm so excited to be here as a top 10 in this event. Our technology valuation is $2,150,000 from the startup bootcamp company after raise $40,000. And we are negotiating with the Super Committee for FIFA World Cup, with La Liga for the performance analysis and the soccer program development, PSG Academy for performance analysis, the kids and to young player. And the performance analysis lab, it's need the sensor, wearable tools, special hardware and camera, and is expensive, inconvenience and something. and maybe $100,000 per each lab, and we can decrease this amount of the money. Okay, we can hear the expert of the biomechanics, Dr. Philip Graham. Oh, what's the sound? There's no sound? Okay, we got many positive feedback from the experts in the sports and in the biomechanics. And this is the Dr. Philip Graham Smith, and said something about us, but doesn't work. This is our technology. You know, the human eyes can track the movement, and we can provide a 3D model from the movement. We can digitizing and monitoring the movement, and can be used for the 360-degree view, and can be used for the gaming and animation. We can provide the 3D in only 30 seconds, and can be used for track the movement, can be used for the metaverse and coaching, online coaching as well. And we can provide the PDF in performance analysis. Thank you.
So maybe I can start off. Why will major clubs use you rather than other major AI players in the industry? So, yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear.
So why would any major, let's say any club, let's say a football club, use your technology rather than all the other major AI technology players?
Yes, the performance analysis tool use the sensor, electrode, and wearable tools, and some clubs need to bring the player to the labs, and need to pay money, and expensive, and it's not convenience. And but with the capture video, we can provide the data for the clubs and academy, or technology showcase for the PSG academy, and can be used for physios, for injury prevention, for return to the game and match in the short time.
So I like your product. I actually think I'm on the board of one of your competitors. We'll get back to that. So tell me a bit about what kind of sports you're focusing on, because you can't do all the sports at once. So which sports are you focusing on?
Yes, this is a good question. We have started our technology with the tennis because it's individual sport and easy to use. And I am tennis coach as well and PhD in exercise physiology. And this technology started with tennis. For the FIFA World Cup, we added we added soccer, and we can add other sports. We have a basketball, squash, fencing, golf, horsing, and it depends on the market need, and it's not limited because we reach to the algorithm with the AI, and we can provide for other sports in the short time.
So I'm aware that, for example, Apple has a software that is doing something quite similar to what you're doing. So how will you compete with players such as Apple and Google and their AI technologies?
Yes, Microsoft and Apple use this technology, but we developed the algorithm that's used before for other industry in the sport for the track the movement. You know, the Apple need maybe some structure, and we use the collected data, open source data, and we reach to the algorithm. This is the NSA Tech made. This is the realistic 3D model from the Cristiano Ronaldo, but in a small size. You can print in the 3D printer. You can use for the metaverse, and you can use for the talent identification and big industry. And we're looking forward to partnership and investor. And thank you for hearing me. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, nice job. I can tell some of the judges are sports fans there because their ears pricked up a little bit at the last project. I'm guessing so, right? Well, now we're going to go back to Meta Real Estate. So we're going to welcome our next startup. We have Solid Block coming to the stage. Round of applause, please, guys.
everybody. I'm Yael Tamar, CEO and co-founder at SolidBlock. So technology has changed many industries: communication, travel, hospitality, payments, but real estate has remained largely antiquated. In fact, not much has changed since the first ever documented sale of property, which was done by none other than Abraham, the forefather in the Jewish tradition and the prophet in the Muslim one. The story of how Abraham found, financed, acquired, transferred ownership mainly illustrates the same challenges that the real estate is facing today: low transparency, low access, low liquidity, low tech. SolidBlock is changing all of that by completely redefining real estate. For investors, we secure investment via security tokens. For property owners and their clients, we secure both ownership and use of property with NFTs. And for store of value, we have index solutions. And that's an old presentation, guys. So, Okay, in order to have a liquidity solution, you need two layers. You're gonna ask me, what's up with liquidity? You have a liquidity mechanism, but no liquidity solution. Step one, ensure that property gets funded. That's why we created SolidCoin, a fractional underwriting solution, where underwriters, which are top professional investors, will invest in properties fractionally, ensuring that each property on the marketplace gets underwritten. Only then a property goes on the marketplace. So these investors assume financial responsibility. Now, the second step is the listing of the projects on the marketplace. Through that listing, the underwriters get paid. The third step is creating an index of top properties, which is listed publicly, which is where liquidity is coming from, right? So, SolidBlock is going to issue Solid Token, a governance token to govern how these validators will validate the properties. Now, SolidBlock is a leader in the industry. We were first to tokenize a real estate asset, a St. Regis Aspen coin, St. Regis Aspen Ski Resort, with Aspen coin traded on T0. Now, we're completely redefining the use of property today to make sure that property is accessible to everyone, because property is for everyone. And we're looking for underwriters, financial institutions to join us. Support Solid Token. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. So now it's 3 minutes of Q&A. We'll start.
Thank you, Yael, for your energy. I have the perception that there's much more in terms of legal implications for this. So are the investors technically, legally owners of the buildings, or you go through a vehicle, or if you could elaborate that? One, well, first off. Second off, what are the limitations in terms of internationalization of this? So this works under legal framework of Israel, I suppose, but then when you move to Germany, this will, new laws will apply. Did you check that?
Well, thank you for that question. So number one, for security tokens, we do issue securities. We normally use US law, so we issue them in the US. We have partners in Europe where we can also issue them globally. So we work with compliance providers. We're not a regulated platform. For every single jurisdiction, we have broker-dealers that facilitate everything we do, including solicitation and trading, okay? Now, in terms of global solution for this, that's why we're creating Solid Token, right? And Solid Coin Index. So on the ground floor, we have professional investors investing in properties. Then these properties get put in an index, and that index is listed on a public market, either an ETF in the US or just listed on the stock exchange as a fund. Now that is accessible to anybody, retail, institutional, anybody at all, right? So that's how we also overcome the regulation and make property accessible to every single investor, right? Thank you.
Are you going to support the fungibility of the token?
Sorry?
how you want to keep track on the tokens, that there's enough demand?
How we'll track the tokens after? Okay, absolutely. Well, we have a lot of partnerships with market makers. That's number one. Number two, of course, creating an ecosystem of professional investors, institutional investors. And in terms of the tokenomics, number one, it works by staking. It's a proof of stake model. So the more tokens you stake, the more access you have, the faster you get access to property. That's number one. You want to get access. You will be able to influence the pricing through bidding on the tokens. And number three, you'll be able to earn the tokens by doing due diligence. So companies like JLL and CBRE can participate in due diligence, as well as individual appraisers, right? Can validate appraisals of property. So really, we're recreating this ecosystem and letting blockchain do what blockchain is supposed to do, right? Create a trustless environment for the marketplace. Thanks, guys.
What blockchain are you using?
Polygon.
Okay, round of applause for Yael. So how are we doing, judges? We have 3 projects left. We've got some notes on the papers. Yeah, going good? Okay. So next up, we have a decentralized cloud system. We have Uni Grid coming to the stage. Round of applause for this startup. Okay, 3 minutes on the clock.
Thank you, guys. It's an honor to be here. My name is Adam Waldenberg, and I'm one of the co-founders of Uni Grid. And our mission is to create create a cloud infrastructure that can replace traditional cloud providers. So we want to do something that that can offer full fault tolerance and redundancy. So if you put something on this network, it should never be able to go offline, and it should always be up, always. So let's see if the clicker works. Yep. So I want to tell you a story. This is me in the data center, by the way. I started a data center in Gothenburg in 2015. And I noticed very quickly that it was really hard to compete with the traditional cloud providers. And not only that, it was difficult to provide the same service and the same redundancy. So it was really difficult. And somewhere along the way, I kind of thought, there has to be a better way to do this. Customers kept, they wanted backups and they wanted secondary redundancy for their services. And it was really hard to compete. So then the question was, can we do this better? Can we make something to compete with them? So right now there is a lot of talk about Web3, but we kind of take it a step further. So we like to call our solution Internet 2.0. And everyone should be able to join this network and run a server and provide services. So essentially, all the companies that connect to this network become like Amazon. They provide the service to the customers, and it becomes a democratic, big network that anybody can be part of. And we want to make that redundancy an inherent part of the solution. Right now, with data centers, and with Amazon and other solutions, you kind of have to pay extra to get that redundancy. But it should be part of the protocol. So break the monopoly, create an open alternative, and also offer anonymous access to the internet. So that's Uni Grid in a nutshell. Thank you. If you want to know more, we're at booth G3 in the gold aisle. Thank you.
So if Amazon themselves still have problems with their thousands of system administrators and still occasionally go offline. How do you plan to guarantee, 100%, because it's tall order, availability?
Yeah, so that's the really innovative part of this network. So what we do is we split, when you store data on the network, we split it into small pieces. So think of it as a RAID array on a traditional server. We split it into pieces and we introduce redundancy blocks. But instead of working with hard drives, like in a traditional server, we're working with blockchains, little blockchains that can be reorganized, and we can introduce these redundancies into the protocol.
I guess within the internet infrastructure, there's a lot of external dependencies like DNS systems, other sort of things, code that maybe you haven't written yourself. How do you deal with problems cascading from external sources?
Yeah, so we're doing a bridge to kind of be able to not only connect to the Uni Grid network, but also from the Uni Grid network to the ordinary internet. So it should be interchangeable, and we actually use Java. So we get a lot of free stuff that way, because there is a lot of libraries that we can use in that infrastructure.
How are you going to protect people's data?
So everything is encrypted, and you kind of have your key. So if you own your key, you're the only one that can encrypt this data. Just don't lose your key. That's the important part.
Where are your facilities?
So we're based in Sweden right now, but we have around 600 nodes, and they run all over the world at the moment. Yep.
This was very technical now, so maybe you can tell a bit more about the team, your marketing strategy, the budget, this kind of things.
Yeah, we have. I, for example, have been teaching in web development for over a decade at the university. My co-founder, he's been working in with marketing. He did like advertisements and stuff like that way back. And I mean, yeah, we're here, right? So that's one of the things as well. So I think we're doing really good with that part. Of course, we're going to need help along the way as well. Yeah.
So how you want to spend the money? How do you want to spend the money?
Development, mainly. We're going to need, this is a big undertaking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so next startup, we've got two left. There's some troubles with the mics. Yeah, okay, so project number 9, we have Unsaid coming to the stage now. Round of applause. Okay, you ready to go? Because the judges are taking no prisoners today. There you go.
Hello everyone, I'm very grateful to be here. I'm Philippe Théodosio, the CEO of Unsaid. Unsaid is a French startup in the artificial intelligence industry. We analyze the emotion from the voice. I've been working for more than 20 years for a large company like Alcatel or like Thales, and I have a call center experience. That's why I wanted to disrupt the world, to propose this AI solution. But first, I was very inspired by Elon Musk, by his project Neuralink, but also with one of my EMBA colleagues at HEC Paris, where it is implementing the chip on the brain, but I found it a bit intrusive, to be honest. So that's why I'm proposing you the voice, how to analyze the emotion from the voice with sentiment analysis and emotion recognition. But first, we surveyed large companies like CA Technology and also Carrefour, present here in UAE. And we found 4 main points. The first one, only 5 to 15% of the customer respond to this customer survey. And I will give you a confidence. myself, I don't respond to this customer survey because sometimes it's long, sometimes it's boring. I don't have time like everyone else. The second point is like most of the unsatisfied customer doesn't respond to these customer surveys. What about the satisfied customer for good lesson learned? The third point is like it's very expensive to scale up these solutions. And one of the first one is like the way the survey are written influence the response of the customer. That's why with our talented team, with Frank and the talented board advisor with ex-managing director of Carrefour, with a powerful sales team in partnership with Alcatel, big French company, and also Omani company, we are very happy to reach a target of 16 million euro in 5 years. Our unique approach is to propose AI solution and to analyze the voice and the emotion from the voice with our machine learning approach and the personalized approach. One of the benefits is to increase leads. One of the company increased by 300K just with our sentiment analysis. Also, you will reduce costs. For example, your supervisor will spend 6 months to do a job, will do it in 1 month with one other tiny fixture. We need 300K, thank you, and invest on Unsaid.
Okay, thank you. So it's time for some Q&A. Who's going to start off the questions? Yeah.
So you're saying that you're analyzing emotion, which I think means sentiment. And then you're saying that you have knowledge of the reason of insatisfaction or satisfaction. So how do you do that?
So what we are doing, we have our own tool of sentiment analysis. We have the voice, speech to text. We have the text. We know the sentiment plus the reason why the customer are unsatisfied. We are using opinion mining, which is also one of the tools in artificial intelligence. And we are working already in phase 1, which is already ready. And we need money for phase 2, which is emotion recognition with the seven emotions we know, like joy, like anger, etc., etc.
Just a quick follow-up question, because I mean, you get sentiment. It could be negative, positive, or indifferent. And you get emotion, perhaps upset. So you have negative sentiment, you're upset. What is the reason for the dissatisfaction of the customers? I don't see the link, and I'm working in AI.
Yeah, I will give you an example. We are doing that for call centers and telesales, and your customer call the call centers and he is not happy about the reimbursement process. Maybe he will say a lot of bad words and a lot of bad emotions, and maybe one customer, but maybe it's not one, but maybe 1,000 for the same reason. So it's not a specific case. It's like for most of the people, and you can know it very, very quickly in a matter of minutes.
What are you using your own hardware? Do you require hardware to do all this analysis?
Yeah, we are using Microsoft Azure Cloud for the cloud part because we can deploy the solution everywhere, and we are using API and our engine, AI engine behind.
I have a follow-up question. What if the place is crowded and busy and loud? You mentioned, for example, Carrefour. So what if the place is busy and loud? How do you do this?
About the competitors? I mean, a lot of people going to sentiment analysis on the text, on the web, but we are doing this for the voice because, for example, in France, 70% of the interaction are made with the voice. So that's why it's a huge potential market. And the market now is like 8 billion, and in 2027 will be 20 billion.
Thank you. Great, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. So it's now time for our 10th startup pitch of the day. After that, we're going to have someone come collect the papers from our judges, count everything up, and our winner will be announced. Not yet, though. I'm going to welcome Voltan to the stage to give their 3 minutes. Final pitch of the day, no pressure. There you go, enjoy.
Hi, this is Emrah Kara, co-founder and CEO of Voltan. We are games industry veterans working in the industry combined more than 20 years. Worked in payments, distribution, e-commerce, localizations, publishing, etc. And currently in our other companies, we are distributing around 2 million games a year in other platforms that we work. And these companies that we see the logos here, are actually the companies that we work with in other businesses. So we are pretty experienced and well networked inside the whole games industry. So during working with these guys, we actually had a quite good chance to understand their distribution networks in terms of digital, because we are connected to their APIs and we actually can check and see how their industry works, and it's actually kind of ridiculous how the industry works at the moment, because industry is still working in Excel files. It's very open to fraud, and you cannot trace and track one digital product at the moment in the industry, in the world actually. So basically, you have the IP creator in the start of the chain, and this is how the industry works today. And then the IP creator or publisher gives those stocks to different aggregators, to their own stores, and then they distribute to other parties. And then until the end user activates the product, you don't have any visibility of a product. So you don't have any supply chain management for a digital product at the moment. So to overcome this, we actually came up with a very nice product called Boba Network, Voltan, that we put the IP creator in the middle of the supply chain, and you create your own network around it. So Voltan is actually connecting the video games industry, and our patent pending solution is actually using the NFTs to solve the digital distribution problem across the video games industry. With our platform, you can track a digital product, distribute it, and also you can manage your business network very efficiently. And Voltan will be infrastructure that connects all the infrastructures of the whole games industry, all the APIs, and create a digital highway that is connecting Web 2 to Web 3. With our product, we already created the MVP and tested the product with 500,000 assets and successfully transferred them, so it is alive. And now we are in our seed round. We are almost closing our seed round, and we are looking forward to raise around €5 million until the end of the June. Thank you.
I had a question. On the first slide, you had a lot of different logos.
Yeah.
Who are they? Or how are they affiliated to you?
So I'm working in the games industry since long time, and in other companies, we actually distribute like around 2 million games globally. So we are already connected to some of them, all of them actually, with different APIs and different infrastructures, and we are working with them. Also, since we are actually working with this industry for so long time, we are very well networked, and we have access to all the publishers in the world, pretty much.
I guess as an IP creator, why would I want to use the solution? And as an end client, why would I want to use it as well, as opposed to the existing system of distribution?
Existing system of distribution must be your current API that you use. The current API is a limited sphere. So what we are trying to do, we are not trying to actually change your infrastructure, but complement your current infrastructure. So you can use Voltan just as a trace and track element. You can use your on-premise system, your own API, but use Voltan as a reconcile and track and trace system. And also, the unique selling point of a Volt is not the product, it's actually the network part of it. So once you connect the system, you are connected to everyone. And then you can basically send an easy, just an invitation to the other party, and system also starts working like an API. So we are complementing your existing technology rather than trying to change it.
A few sentences to the team.
Sorry?
A few sentences to the team. Team.
Yeah, I am the CEO, and we have my business partner is Julian Migura. He's also very experienced in publishing and industry. He's actually right now in GDC to the Game Developers Conference, pitching the project. And we have a world-class advisor board from ex-CEOs, from telcos, from blockchain companies, and we have pretty nice backing from the investors and also the advisors.
What is the biggest challenge what you're facing?
Our biggest challenge that we are facing at the moment is we are actually trying to run everything together. We are building the product, and also we are doing the launch and management and everything. I think the product actually works, and we also have the first mover advantage. So I don't see that very big problem in front of us. Besides, we need to execute the whole project, of course. Thank you so much for the time.
Fantastic, thank you. So I think a round of applause for all of our pitches there. We had 10 in total. And not an easy job as well to come up in front of these guys and pitch their products and then do the Q&As. So we're going to have Daniel come on stage now and collect the scoring board. He's our glamorous assistant for today. He'll collect the scorings, and we'll total those up now for the startups that we've seen. Because you've judged a few of these pitches, how would you rate the standard of the pitches that you heard today?
I felt I was hard on the first guys because it's always tough to go early. But the presentations as they went along got a lot better. The startup pitches are about just hitting certain points that investors are looking for. You know, size of market, differentiation, how much money you're looking for. And if you answer those questions in the time frame, you have a much better chance. But it also, to your point, it was interesting. There's a lot more metaverse in NFT, which even in Malta 4 months ago wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Very interesting. And I'll ask this to the rest of the judges, because I'm sure a lot of people in the audience will also benefit from this. A good pitch, what's very important? What were you guys looking out for today?
Actually, I missed a bit the keys, as you already mentioned. I understand it's difficult to put it in 3 minutes, but some presentations, they just missed the key elements of a pitch in a short term to investors.
Yeah, I would add on that, exactly. There's usually 3 key points I look for. So first of all, what the product is, then second, what's the traction that they have, and then finally the funding and information around that. So WTF.
I like that. WTF is smart.
I also came to notice that none of the projects spoke about their communities and who are their followers and how strong is their fan base. This is something very important to an investor because the investor understands the likelihood that the general public accept it or not. So definitely I would recommend the startups to always mention who's their followers, how strong are they, where do they come from, how active are they, yeah.
Very good point. You asked about communities quite a lot today, and I think online it's even more important to build a solid community and fan base.
And unfortunately, in 3 minutes, it's very difficult to judge the work of maybe many years. So it's difficult. Please understand the judges. It's a difficult task.
but it's also a challenge for the entrepreneur to try to convey indeed all these messages in 3 minutes. And since we are speaking about pre-seed, most of them pre-seed deals, we would like really to understand why now and why you are going to make it.
Very interesting. And for most of you on the stage, some of you have given indications of what industries you're working on. You've mentioned AI during this conversation. Where do you see the industries heading? We've seen Metaverse, NFT projects. What kind of things are you expecting to see now as more of a trend in the future?
I guess in general regarding finance, I probably will imagine that it'll get more and more disintegrated in that you'll have kind of a tech stack as you see nowadays in web projects where you have the server bare metal, then you have application layers, etc. And I think within finance you'll start having that as well, especially as DeFi becomes more accepted.
I think there's going to be a great segmentation in the market, and a couple years from now there'll be no such thing as a blockchain company, just like there's no such thing as an internet company. You're going to be a payments company, you're going to be a game company, you're going to be a real estate company, and you'll be at a payments conference. At Money 2020 Vegas, in the payments section alone, there's 2,500 companies just in that section. So I think the segmentation will come, and there's not going to be blockchain events anymore, just like there's no internet world. We're going to end up in the industries of whatever the blockchain technology kind of powers.
Well, I think the segmentation is one thing. The other thing is the transmission in which we are. And that's the reason because we are all here today, because we're looking for the unique companies who will make this transformation to the future in the proper way with a proper product. And I think in 5 to 10 years, no one is talking anymore about blockchain because it's just get it adapted like the internet today. But the metaverse is like the universe, is endless. So let's see what's coming out.
I totally agree with my fellow judges on all their comments. I think blockchain is here to stay though. It is the future. It's going to be adapted and evolved into different aspects. It will tap into so many different industries, but I totally believe that it's here to stay. It's just going to grow, and we're at a very early on stage right now.
I don't think technology is important at all, actually. No, I think it's totally irrelevant because technology changes. 10 years back, none of us talked about AI. It existed, but we didn't talk about it. Another 10 years, we're probably not going to talk about blockchain. It's probably going to be something else. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be there. So technology is not important. The important thing is what kind of problem are you trying to solve? And I kind of missed that on quite a few of the startups. What is the problem? And how are you solving it? And how is it actually possible to make money on that? And why are you going to succeed? Those are my 4 questions.
I have a milder position about technology, but from one side, application. So, what is the problem that we are attacking is important. But I think there are quite many problems that have been highlighted today, and we can see them here in the show. I have the feeling that some technology is still missing. So when I say missing, some enabling technology. So enabling technology to do things in a better way, faster way, cheaper way. And I'm very happy to see that this is coming. Even among the 10 teams we see, there are some enabling technologies which are interested and will enable new applications, new problems to be solved. Sorry.
Fantastic, and it's great to have you all here giving some insight. I do want to turn to the audience now and just ask, does anyone have any questions for our judges? No, it seems like you guys managed to get off luckily there. We do have the results in as well. So before we announce the winner, we have 3 minutes time. We're going to give a big thank you to our sponsor of today, Boba Network. We have a video to showcase some of the work they're doing in the industry and how they've managed to make this event possible.
Hello everyone, I'm Alan Chu, founder and CEO of Boba Network. Boba Network is a hybrid compute blockchain platform built on an Ethereum layer 2 architecture. Now, what does that mean? Let's take a step back. What is an Ethereum layer 2 and why do we exist? Well, Ethereum is a blockchain that can run mini programs called smart contracts. And while it's not the only smart contract platform out there, it is the largest one, the most popular one. A lot of developers have built decentralized applications on Ethereum. However, it is so popular that Ethereum is operating at capacity, and that means oftentimes when users try to use these applications, they're paying a lot of fees, high gas fees. And therefore, a number of projects are now building on top of Ethereum called layer 2 solutions that will help make Ethereum faster and cheaper, and Boba Network is one of them. But we're not stopping there. You see, one of the problems with Ethereum today that has been neglected is that when developers are writing these mini programs, these smart contracts, their hands are tied. They can only do trivial computations in these smart contracts. But what happens to the latest advances in computer science that we've been hearing about for the last 2 decades, like machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, and virtual reality, and the list goes on? Well, all of these advances require much more complex algorithms that are impossible to run, or too slow, too expensive to run on Ethereum or any blockchain for that matter today. So how do we bring these two worlds together? The smart contract blockchain Web3 world and the Web2 world where we get these benefits from more sophisticated algorithms. That's where Boba comes in. Boba is more than just a layer 2 solution that makes Ethereum faster and cheaper. We also make it possible for developers to build much smarter decentralized applications. How do they do that? Well, developers can write smart contracts on Boba that can interact with the outside world. And what that means is these smart contracts can now pull in data from any sources they want. It could be the latest temperature, it could be some sort of data feed from an enterprise, it could be the latest state of a game engine. Not only that, the outside world, these external APIs or RPC endpoints could also be executing a machine learning model, a data science model, a proprietary trading model, a risk assessment model, basically anything you want. And what that means is developers can now build decentralized applications that are much more dynamic, offers a lot more features, and the design space is now much broader. Developers have more tools to build dApps that users love. If you're a developer, how do you get started? Well, come to boba.network as a start and click on the developer section of the website. That will give you a lot of resources on how to get started in building on Boba. In addition, we have also created an accelerator program called Boba Bar. Boba Bar helps early stage founders connect with more experienced founders and exchange ideas on how to best build their dApp, how to launch, how to acquire users. Boba also offers a developer grants program of up to $10,000 per project in order to get these projects off the ground. If you're a developer, make sure you apply for a grant from Boba Network. And lastly, Boba is also setting up an ecosystem fund that will invest in projects that are further along, that will require more capital to help them launch and grow. And make sure, if you're interested in tapping into the ecosystem fund, that you apply to that program as well. As you can see, Boba Network is transformative for the Web3 industry because Boba offers a whole new set of capabilities that developers can tap into and build decentralized applications that just were not possible before. I can't wait to see what developers build on Boba and to see you enjoy the advantages of this whole new generation of decentralized applications. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to get some energy in the room now, guys, because this is time that we're going to announce the winners. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. So we're going to do a round of applause for all the judges. We're going to hype it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so in case you might not have noticed, a very modest check just came on stage. And this is from Ikigai Ventures, which is a startup VC fund. This check will range between $10,000 and $500,000, and this will go to our one winner. Before we announce the winner for today, I'm going to run through our top 3 that have been voted by our judges. So thank you all for your time today. We're going to go through and start with our 3rd place runner-up. The 3rd place actually goes to Metagame Hub DAO. So a round of applause to those guys. Second place goes to Solid Block. And for our 1st place winner for the AIBC Startup Pitch 2022, the winner is NSA Tech. A big round of applause to NSA Tech.